Today we're talking about all things GTA 6. Starfield's DLC is getting negative reviews, and our reactions to the latest Last of Us 2 trailer. Plus, move over Concord. Will Ubisoft's game turn out to be the biggest financial flop of 2024? Find out. Welcome, friends, to this week's episode of Good Playing With You, the weekly gaming podcast. I'm Dan Whitehill, and as always, I'm joined by our Good Playing Good buddies, Matt Lord.
Hey, how's it going?
And Matt Moulding.
Hey now.
Before we jump into the headlines, let's check in with my bespectacled band of Matts and find out what everyone's been playing this week. Lord?
Bespectacled is so good. Gosh, I love those tags, Dan. So good. Well, guys, I can officially say I'm a Counter-Strike 2 main. It's almost all, that's like exclusively what I played this week. We had a gang of fives, including friend of the pod, Hella Dope Guy. And we just played ranked matches until the cows came home. I think last week I had a couple days where I actually stayed up to like 1:30 on school nights, boys. It was outrageous. I haven't stayed up that late in, I don't know. Let's just say I was a complete zombie mess last week. Totally fun though. Awesome game. I think it's really, really fun with a 5-stack. I've been having a total ball, and it kind of takes me back to my roots, because really Counter-Strike was what got me into like all the FPS gaming in the first place. So it's really fun to have a total like revamp and like refresh on that on the genre. And then what else have I also put in? More Forever Winter, gents. So we're talking more grimdark, more Death Stranding-esque, more Escape from Tarkov clone-ish. You know, you got to get that extraction shooter in there. I'd be really surprised if this game doesn't come to console at some point. I know they're giving the early access to PC players right now, but I think in the future, maybe when the game completely releases, this will come to console, and it's a lot of fun. I think it gives Helldivers 2 a run for its money. The drops are super intense. You're just like a little weakling in this crazy battlefield with giant mechs stomping around and fight. These battles are going on over here, and you're just trying to creep around, and you're just trying to find water the whole time. And just really cool, really fun concept. And then you get the water and you run away. Would you guys at all, have you investigated at all on this game yet?
Yes, because Hella Dope Guy kept commenting in the comments, so he was like forcing me to. So yeah, I took a look at it. Looks very bleak, very dark. I like crafting and I like shooting things, so I'm cautiously optimistic that they can make the translation to console so that it works on a gamepad, and then I'm in.
I would hope so. Yeah.
Is it a free beta, or did you have to buy it and then?
I did spend $26.99 on this bad boy. So
that's nothing.
Not a huge investment. There's still a few bugs and kinks to get worked out, especially with AI, and some of the vaulting can get extremely annoying when you just can't seem to vault for whatever reason. But for early access, it's playing really well and having a
early access. Sorry, not beta. Early access.
Oh yeah. Early access. It was so. I would say this is a better early access game that I've played. I haven't played a ton of early access, but this one's kind of knocking out of the park, having a real good time. How about you guys?
Ark was early access for like 10 years.
Damn Ark. Damn Ark.
It's one of my favorites. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, you got Vin Diesel in there on the second one. Why not?
That's two. Yeah, I don't have high hopes for that.
Someday.
So my thumb is still hurting. I still have my video game injury. So I pulled back a lot of my gaming this week. Mostly it was Echoes of Wisdom. I know. I don't want to have like a permanent injury. So I want to take care of my thumb. So Echoes of Wisdom, I'm still playing. I really hope to finish that this weekend and get the review up early next week, fingers crossed.
But not the hurting one, because you don't want to hurt it.
Exactly. So not my hurting. Yes, not my hurting fingers. Exactly.
Yep.
And then Overwatch 2, I just played a very little of it because I think that is the reason for my injury. So I know this is a video game podcast, but I'm just gonna throw out a couple of the TV shows that I was watching while I was nursing it, and that is Baby Reindeer on Netflix. Incredible, so good. And then Yellow Jackets just came out on Netflix, the first season. Oh my god, incredible! And then Heartstopper, I watched all 3 seasons of Heartstopper. The new season came out today, and I watched that today. So anyway,
Yeah,
I know
haven't
it's
heard
not
of
I know it's not a TV podcast, but that's what I did while I was nursing my thumb.
No, I always need new TV to watch. So good
Yeah.
rec, Smalding. And
Yeah,
real fast,
incredible.
is this true when it comes to the Zelda game? I saw the cheesiest of cheese clip, and let me know if this is like easy to pull off, because it kind of like threw me off a little bit. I saw Zelda jump up onto a little bed that she had
Okay.
crafted, and then the bed kind of like jumped up into the air, and the person was sending what looked like almost like a shooting star at the bed, and it was just flying in the air, and they got to like the top of this mountain somehow.
Is that the
I mean,
bird bed trick? I've heard about a bird bed.
Okay.
Like you mix the bird and the bed, and you get a flying bed that flies across or something.
I think that might be it. But it kind of
So
looked like a shooting star to me. I didn't know what was happening, but I was like, this looks so cheesed out. I would have a hard time like not cheesing if I ever
The
played
only
this
thing
game.
I could think is that maybe someone put a bed on a bird and then grabbed onto one of them, and then that caused something to happen. Like, sure, I haven't seen it, but maybe that could happen.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. I mean, I'll go into it later when I talk about my review, but I am finding that I'm not really having a lot of fun. It's a good game, but I'm not really
Ooh.
having a lot of fun playing it.
Well, then I really can't wait for your review.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
So we'll see. We'll see how it turns out.
Sweet.
What about you, Dan? What were you playing?
Speaking of things that aren't the most fun, I've been playing Alan Wake 2. Now, I've been waiting for this one because I would say, kind of a fan of Alan Wake 1. And then I waited for like a year because I didn't want to pay the full price for this puppy. And then it finally went on sale this past week, and I picked it up because I was like, oh, spooky times. I'm going to jump in Alan Wake 2. This is kind of perfect. Oh, boys, I don't know about this one. I am maybe into chapter 3 now. And it is like when you are dating someone who's really good looking, but they are slow AF and they don't have much to say. It's like, yeah, at first the sex is really good, but then afterwards you're just laying there like, I'm so bored. And that's exactly how this feels, because it looks phenomenal. It looks great. All of the textures and the graphics and the emotion, and the writing's kind of good, but the gameplay just isn't there. The gameplay really wasn't quite there for the first one, too. The light mechanic, where you have to shine the light on the monsters and then shoot them, that's all they did in the first one, and they really haven't expanded it much on this one. So if you played the first one, you really know what's going to happen in the second one, and then the story's a little bit convoluted. I don't mean to be a hater here, and I'm definitely going to continue to play it, but I get a little sleepy while I play it, so I definitely need to like drink coffee and something just to keep me awake. It's like a police procedural. It's just that dull, tone and like graphics, and it's just,
I don't know that comparison. Maybe you need Viagra and not caffeine.
I will take anything actually that will increase my excitement for this game, because it is good looking. It just isn't, it isn't keeping me awake.
There's not a lot of substance there.
Sorry, just something screamed overrated with that game to me. I just was not there when it was coming out. I was like, this thing is not gonna do it. I mean,
I wanted to believe
people like went nuts over it too.
Yeah.
And I knew, I was like, this is just all like, this is chatter. Like, I don't believe it for a second. So
you were right. Well, because I was just like, oh, well, the first Remedy game, or the first Alan Wake, was pretty good. And this one's slow AF.
Did you get it on like a deep discount or anything? Or did you pay
I
full
think it was like
price?
$35 or whatever.
Oh,
So not too
it's
bad.
pretty.
I'm not
Pretty
crying.
good.
I really like the graphics. Gameplay is just not where it's at for me, and I'll keep you posted on my progress.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
But we've got a lot of really exciting games to talk about in the headlines, so let's jump into those puppies right now. First and foremost, could Concord not be the worst game this year and the biggest flop? I was kind of shocked to hear this. This is a story, Lord, that you had.
Yeah. So, I just have it here. Step aside, Concord is Skull and Bones, the biggest financial flop of 2024. Skull and Bones allegedly cost Ubisoft $850 million to make. $850. $850 million.
$850. Oh wow, that's a bargain.
They got almost as cheap as Alan Wake. And I just could not believe reading this. I was just like, and they're essentially blaming this game in particular for Ubisoft's like recent stock decline. And I think a lot of people thought maybe it could have been like the new Star Wars game, and
which also is reportedly only selling about 1 million copies. So Star Wars isn't doing too well on its own.
I am 1 million copies for Star Wars, but just as an aside, is crazy. Like that has to be a humongous hit on the budget as well. But I mean, making a game for $150 million that nobody really heard of, like this, just for instance, probably 2 months ago.
You mean 850 million?
Does it? Yeah, 850. Yeah. I'm struggling with my numbers. Like, don't mind me. But I saw this game on sale for $10 at Best Buy like 2 months ago, and I was like, should I buy this game for $10? And I was just like, I've never even really heard of it, so I'm gonna just pass it up. I don't know what, like, it's on set. I'm like $10 from $70. So that just goes to show that there's something really wrong here. And $850, can you guys, or $850 million? I mean, can you believe that? Like, what do you guys think is going on here? Because that number is staggering. That's almost $1 billion to make a video game, and one that nobody's heard of. So, like, what is going on here? Do you guys?
Well, there was a lot of history behind this one, right? So they wanted to do like an Assassin's Creed. It comes from that Assassin's Creed pirate game, I think, right? And then they built it out, and then I think that they had to restart it at least once, like from the ground up. So obviously that costs a lot of money. But then I also like, does this include, I don't know if the article said, does it include the marketing costs, or they just did a roundup and they said, this is an all-encompassing budget for the entire game?
This comes from DualShockers, Abdullah Al Tayriki. So it says alleged sources within Ubisoft told YouTuber Endymion that Skull and Bones cost between 650 to 850 million over its 10 years of production. They added that this investment and its non-profitability are causing the company's financial ruin. So I
looked at your numbers and I found this really interesting, because I really want to know if everyone's paying attention over here to Concord being the biggest flop, if this really is the biggest flop. I do think it's a write-off. So they're piling on costs that maybe other games, maybe Star Wars, that sort of stuff, had lost onto this game, which is fine. Let's still look at the actual numbers. And what's ironic about this is, yes, it costs between $650 to $850 million, but people are estimating that it actually only sold 850,000 copies of the game. So it's kind of ironic they're very similar. So I did the math, and 850,000 times 70 is 59,560,000. So roughly $60 million is how much they would have made with the estimated amount that they've sold so far. So that is a loss of maybe like $790 million they've lost, versus Concord, which I looked up because I thought this was interesting, which just straight out of the gate cost $400 million, they're estimating. And they sold essentially none because they did refund everyone's money. So even Concord losing $400 million is not even is like pretty much half of what Ubisoft if it's 790 million. Again, total conjecture and estimated numbers, but it does look like Ubisoft is going to take the crown here for the biggest loser of 2024.
That is crazy because, to be honest, I didn't think Concord was going to be topped, and then this comes sneaking out. This everyone thought this was already back behind the barn, totally shot in the face, and it just is like, no. How about an $850 million loss? And I mean, no, it's no surprise if I mean, of course, the stock is going to take a hit after something like that. There's nothing that can be done. And, this could also be the reason why after like 2 humongous hits, this could be like adding to the Shadows delay, perhaps. Like, I think this could be contributing. I know we talked about how you don't think they want to release with bugs. I think they made another little statement here regarding the game's delay. So interesting to see how they bounce back from this one. It's a pretty steep hill to climb.
I agree.
Who was clamoring for another pirate game? We already have that Microsoft's the Xbox game, Sea of Thieves, which was terrible too.
Oh, agreed.
But I think I heard that the gameplay of this one wasn't fun. That it wasn't a fun game to play. That they expected a lot of like pirate battles, but I think you just like slid up to another ship and just like did small attacks that way. I don't know. I heard a lot of bad things about the game that just wasn't fun to play. But it's interesting that they've kept it out there. Like this game is ongoing. Like that, they're not pulling a Concord and giving refunds. Which I mean, that was a very unique situation that happened with Concord. So that doesn't surprise me. But it's still out there and it's still trying to sell for $10. So I'm gonna look after this to see how much they're selling for it on Xbox. I'll be very curious.
I think the best that they can hope for is to get that sucker on Game Pass or like PlayStation Plus or something like that. They need to get it on a subscription service to build that audience and try and make a little revenue and put a dent in that missing 790 million.
I'm just going to go out on the wing here and say these games need to stop being made for that price point, though, at the same time. Like, there's obviously too much money being siphoned into a game. Like, even if it performed really, really well, it still has, like, I mean, you said it almost sold 1 million copies, Dan. It still needed to sell so many more just to get their money back. So it's like, what did they expect for profit margin? Like, it's just unrealistic.
Yeah. It's not looking good for Ubisoft, but it is looking good for The Last of Us Season 2. So Molding, I think you put this story on the
so we this came out last week. We weren't able to get to it on the pod last week, but I took a look at it. I loved season 1. I thought season 1 was incredible. I did not play all the way through the very first game because it just got a little tiresome to me. So I stopped playing it probably about halfway through. So a lot of the stuff that happened near the end of the show I had never seen and didn't know about, and I have thankfully been or I have avoided the majority of spoilers for the second game because I have not played that either. I know, Dan, you're a huge proponent of that game. It's one of your favorites. So taking a look at this trailer, it looks like, I mean, the people, they really just nailed the feeling of or at least of the first game. Just nailed that aesthetic of it. I'm so impressed with what they did. But Dan, I wanted definitely to get your take on it since you did play. And Matt, did you play the second one too? Okay,
I did.
So I'd love to hear,
but yeah, we got places in that one.
I'd love to hear what you guys thought of the trailer versus the what you played.
Well, first off, I want to hear Lord's thoughts because I definitely have strong opinions. But without spoiling anything, Lord, how far did you get on your playthrough, and what do you know about the story?
I made it all the way through. I'm trying to remember. I played it on the PS4, so it's like it was back when
years ago.
Yeah, years ago. I probably made it. I definitely made it back through some of the flashbacks with Joel and Ellie when they like went back and they did like the aquarium run.
If metaphorically you said that game was split in two halves, which is ironic because they actually are going to split this game into two halves, season 2 and season 3. Would you say you would know what the halfway point is? Do you feel you
Yes.
made it to that halfway point?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Good. Then I'm clear. Now I just had to make sure get that. Okay. Now please tell me what you thought about the trailer because I'm dying to talk about it.
Oh yeah, I thought the trailer looked awesome. To be honest, like I didn't finish season 1. I think I just like things just kind of went to the wayside. I didn't finish the first season.
Oh, that's a killer. It's so
I know.
good. I love it so
I know,
much.
but I will say, like, after watching this trailer, I was like, it gave me goosebumps, and some of the shots that they had in the teaser were like 1-to-1 with the game. So
that was
especially
wild.
the part where why am I forgetting the kind of antagonist protagonist's name, of course, right now, who gets saved by Joel when like the fence is kind of collapsing, and then
Ellie?
Not Ellie, but the other protagonist, Dan. Come on. Really ripped girl.
Oh,
yeah.
Abby.
Abby.
So there's Abby and Ellie.
Abby and Ellie. Yes. Okay. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting her name. But yeah, there's like the part where there was a bunch of really cool shots that were 1-to-1. I thought they did a good job, and I liked the casting. I think Abby's character looks good. I know they had that like the quick shot of her, nailed it there. So they're on the right track. For sure.
Dan, before you jump in it, can I just ask, is Catherine O'Hara's character in the game? Very beginning, she's talking to Joel like a therapist.
Yeah.
Have we figured out who she is?
No.
I don't know.
Oh, we don't know. Oh, okay. Interesting. All right.
Yeah, so that one was a little surprised. So that's what I thought was so amazing about this is that they did an incredible job of creating some scenes directly out of the video game. Even the lighting was spot on. Like some of the guitar sequences where they're playing and just some of the stuff back in the town before they leave. And I mean, it was 1-to-1 to the video game. But then there were some parts that there were completely different that I didn't expect. So as a super fan, I'm like, okay, this is best of both worlds because I know they're going to be true to the story, but they're going to add something a little bit more. And one of the things that I can see that they're obviously adding more here that they didn't do in season 1 and was my biggest complaint was the zombies. They needed more zombies. I need more zombie murder. I need beheadings. I need disgusting stuff. And this trailer really kind of pushed the zombies towards the end. They set up the trailer. Yes, we're going to do the emotional stuff. Boo-hoo, zombies. And then the zombies come in and they start trying to kill them with like the fence. And I was like, all right, I'm happy. These people get it. We're headed in the right direction. Now, my only question is, like, how does it all play out? Will it be exactly like the game? And if so, that season finale, doggy, I can't wait for it.
It's going to be huge. I mean, I think I know that is what I was spoiled on. So I do think I know what will happen at the end of the season.
I mean, I think we could probably say it.
No,
okay. Well, I think just as an aside, because I think we all know what we're about. Like, I think that gets delayed. I don't know how
you're cruising for a bruising. We need to move on here.
I know. But I think
one last thing. Jeffrey Wright, he is playing his own character, right? He's the black guy from Westworld, really great actor. I think he's playing. He was the one who was the character in the game. No, is that correct?
Interesting.
No? I'm not sure.
He's a great actor. Westworld, he's fantastic. I love him so much.
I for some reason
it was great
can't
when he
picture
showed up
him. Yeah, when did he show up in the teaser?
It looked like, it's hard to explain because I haven't played the game, but it looked like someone was maybe in a jail cell or something, and he was standing over them. It was just a very quick cut. I'll look it up after the pod.
Yeah.
So either way, the casting looks great. Catherine O'Hara, of course, is incredible, and Jeffrey Wright's incredible. And I love. The only problem I see is that there's a big time jump, right? and that actress
I'm
that
not saying
plays.
anything. I'm not saying
I thought there was.
Dan's lips are sealed.
Yeah.
over
Never mind.
here.
We'll stop.
Lord's
We'll
the big
stop then.
spoiler
I
over
know.
here
I'm
that
over
I'm
here
not trying to like
I'm ready to
mug
spoil
him.
the whole game. I'm
He
ready to spoil
is.
two. I'm ready
Yeah.
to...
Hail to the no.
I just no, it's gonna be cool. Of course, I think they're gonna really. I hope you're right though, Dan. Like I would like them. I think that's what I was missing too in the grand scheme of things. Like there was some zombie killing, but I think there needed to be a little bit more because that first game, Last of Us One, was just so like awesome. So much good
Yeah, the
zombie
perfect
killing in that
mix
one.
of emotional maturity and violence,
Yes,
gratuitous violence, and that's what I really crave.
for sure.
I want to see with this one.
Well said. Well said. Nice.
All right, moving on. Let's talk about California's new law that forces digital stores like the Xbox and PlayStation to admit you're just licensing content and not buying it. Now, this article comes from The Verge. It's by Emma Rush, and it says California Governor Gavin Newsom, I just choked on our own governor, has signed into a law to combat, quote, disappearing purchases of digital games, movies, music, and ebooks. The legislation will force digital storefronts to tell customers they're just getting a license to use the digital media rather than suggesting they actually own it. When the law comes into effect next year, it will ban digital storefronts from using the terms like buy or purchase unless they inform customers that they are not getting unrestricted access to whatever they're buying. Storefronts will have to tell customers they're getting a license that can be revoked, as well as provide a list of all the restrictions that come along with it. Companies that break the rule could be fined for false advertising. So, what do you guys think about this? Is this big deal? Is this nothing? Is this good? Is this bad? Thoughts?
Well, we on the pod rail against digital stuff, even though I purchase stuff digitally all the time, but as a gamer, am fully aware of what I'm doing. I know that I am not purchasing the game. I know I'm just purchasing a license. It's the same thing when you buy movies. Do you know if this covers that? You said it covers movies too, right? So it's
Yep.
not just
And
games.
ebooks.
It's all,
Surprise.
or interesting. So I know that I'm just buying a license to have that movie or have that game. But the thing is you're telling me something I already know. You're telling a lot of people that maybe don't already know that they probably don't even care. Like you're just legislating, telling us, which I think is a great thing, but it doesn't matter because nothing changes. Nothing changes with the actual act. So it's just information, which is always great, but it doesn't matter.
Good point, Lord.
That's a very good point, Malding. Yeah, you're right. It's just information, but it does feel like consumer protection, which I feel like in this digital age, we need something. We need something.
I agree with that.
So big Gavin Newsom. Never thought I'd say this. Gavin Newsom.
Oh no!
I know.
But hey, that was pretty massive. When I read that, I couldn't believe it, especially with such a big push right now. I mean, we had our conversation recently about the Warhammer 40K game where, hey, we wanted a physical copy, you couldn't get it. We get news stories of digital games being revoked left and right. I mean, Concord being like, do you think Concord is what's spurring this on? Like, where did this come from?
This would have had to been in the talks for a long time before Concord came out.
Yeah,
I agree.
but it's just like, it's very interesting how it feels very timely. So it like kind of happened at the perfect time. I know it probably has been in the works forever, but it's like, wow, Concord got erased from people's consoles. Then they're just like, oh yeah, here you go. Like, we're going to actually start talking about this. Like, this is something, and it's true. I think something like this, even though it is just information, it gets the conversation started because it is going to be a bigger and bigger issue as time goes on. As we know, like, we can't even get physical copies of anything anymore. So this is going to be big.
I agree, but what I found most interesting over the past couple of weeks, you mentioned one of our clips on YouTube, the Warhammer one, and the audience was resoundingly meh. They don't care. They hate physical. The younger audience hates physical. They love digital, and they don't care. They don't believe the actual game comes on the disc when it comes to physical. That's for sure, because I fought with several people online about that, trying to educate the youth of America. You're welcome, everybody, but no one cares. And then the other thing is, they don't care that it's a license. And I had them sit there and tell me, "Oh, I can play, this game, anytime I want." And I said to them, "Hey, both Sony and Xbox went down this week. Sony was out for 8 hours and Xbox was out around the same time. And if your digital console was doing a license check, your home console does a license check once every 24 hours. And if you game share and you're not on your home console, or you're at buddies and it's not your home console, your console is doing an internet check once every hour. But these kids don't know that, and they just expect that they're going to be able to play these things anytime they want. So yes, I think awareness for digital rights is really important, because these people need to know that it's going to go away. But at the same time, I agree with Molding that I don't think they care, and I don't think it really, really matters. And then at the end of it, the way this is all going to be resolved is what's going to happen is the second that this bill passes, they are still going to be able to use the words buy and purchase if they put out some legalese. We're going to log into these services. They're going to say accept these terms. People are going to fast forward to the bottom.
No
They're going
one
to hit.
ever reads those.
Exactly.
It's just, I'm like, okay, another one that I have to click yes to.
Agreed. People are going to click yes to it. They're not going to read it. It's going to fly through the radar, and we move on. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Nothing.
Whew. Yep. And spot on. I am hoping, I'm hoping there is a turn of the tide and physical really makes a comeback. Theoretically, I know that's a pipe dream, but if it doesn't, I can't help but say, I feel like the piracy situation is going to become something else in the wake of all this digital stuff.
Okay, that is another great point, because some of the comments that I saw on that clip were like, well, if I can't own it, then that means I can't pirate it. And they were all justifying piracy. Like, that comment got so many likes. It was by like Amy or something. Roars. I was like, Amy, wow, you savage. Amy had them like going, man. They were all agreeing with Amy. They're like, it's not piracy if I can't own it. And then they're all justifying their piracy. And I was
that's, I think, really, like, that side of things is really going to have like a field day when it comes to the digital moment, when it is inevitably here, unfortunately. So we'll see.
Agreed.
Yeesh.
We'll see.
Crazy. That's not the best of news. And then moving on, also not the best of news, the Starfield DLC, long awaited Shattered Space, finally came out this week. But did it change anything in the base game?
Well, if you can tell by this face, I don't think it did. So PC Gamer Fraser Brown put out an article about it. Starfield's Shattered Space expansion is out now, and unsurprisingly, its arrival doesn't seem to have changed anyone's mind regarding Bethesda's cosmic RPG. The consensus, at least on Steam, seems to be, if you dig Starfield, you'll probably enjoy this one, but the lack of new features and a story that doesn't quite hit have left it with a mixed rating so far. In the subreddit, one review reads, "It's no wonder they marketed this the way they did, focusing only on the narrative and world space. Outside of that, there is almost zero new content. If you stack this up against any of Bethesda's prior DLC, this is by far the worst value for your money." It does sound like the main quest is of a higher quality than the base games, but that's very much the focus here. And it looks like a lot of players were hoping for something a bit more transformative. Even the more positive reviews, of which there were plenty, though they're still outweighed by the negative ones, acknowledge that there's not much here, and that's not much here that's going to move the needle. I downloaded it because I was one of those people that wanted to play this game a few days early, so I bought it, or I bought it was like $30 or something to play it early. So I still don't actually own the game. It's still a Game Pass game, but I paid $30 to play it early, which got you the DLC for free. So I have it downloaded. I have not played it yet. Either of you played it yet? I assume no,
No.
since it wasn't part of a "what are we playing"
No, I mean,
situation.
the reviews have been so harsh and stuff that I'm like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, apparently I didn't love the base game, and this doesn't sound like
Yeah.
it's changing anything." And then people were just flipping out on Reddit, so I was like, "Well, I'm gonna just go. I've already got a sucky game with Alan Wake 2. I'll just go suck over here, and then
Yeah.
when I'm done sucking here, I'll suck over there."
But again,
Whoa,
I think this
get
game,
that
this
Viagra
DLC, this DLC was plagued with nobody talking about it. Like there was zero
Yeah.
chatter
I was
leading up to
shocked
release
when it
dates.
came out when it was showed up on my
What?
Xbox. I was like,
Ok
"What? I didn't even,"
There was
and it came out
zero
on like a
press.
Monday?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
like, no, I think that just is everything I need to know about the belief in this game, and it's just, I think, and is it supposed to be a horror game now? I can't even tell. Like,
I mean, I think this DLC is supposed to be like a little bit more suspenseful and a little bit like horror-esque.
Oh.
Like that's kind of the theme that they're going for. It's I can't even pronounce the name of the like clan that you're going against. It's like the Vakaruna something something something.
Vakari or whatever,
It's
yeah,
yeah, it's
something like that.
which I mean, I think that's the kind of cult group that you fought against a little bit in the base game. I don't know. I went through the game multiple times. I went through all the factions. There is something there that I really do enjoy, but I didn't want more of it. And I
Yeah.
think maybe some expectations had to be managed a little bit, because what Cyberpunk did with their DLC completely revamped that game. And I do think a lot of people were thinking that that is what this was going to be. And those
And
expectations were very quickly dashed, it sounds like.
bingo, you nailed it. Because on Reddit, they were saying the promise from Bethesda and Todd Howard was that this DLC was going to be as transformative to the base game as Far Harbor was in Fallout. And that's one of the Fallout 4. That's one of the best DLCs and the most fan favorited. So yeah, expectations were super high. And after this article was published that you just read to us, Molding, it actually moved from mixed to mostly negative. So the
Oh,
hate train is just getting started on this puppy,
yeah.
and people are really sounding off on their disappointment. My thing is like, look, let's not cry over spilt milk.
Yeah.
You know, it was what it was and it is what it is. I don't want a sequel. And I hope Bethesda gets that message. Please don't make a sequel to this game.
I hope so.
Agreed.
But
Get those resources into Elder Scrolls stat.
Yeah.
I need my new Elder Scrolls game.
Yeah.
But there is somebody
Extra dragons, please.
yes, still believing in this game, gentlemen. The lead designer for Starfield states that the game was the hardest and best thing Bethesda has ever done. And this is just like a newer article that's been floating around. And just seeing that type of headline, it's just making me wonder, like, Dan, I'm sorry, but I think we're getting a Starfield 2 at some point. Like, you don't see that and think we're not getting a Starfield 2.
Look, this man, like the internet's reaction is obviously, totally toxic and they're going to attack him. But this man has probably just spent probably like 6 to 8 years of his life building something. I'm not going to shit on it. So I'm not going to be the one to tell him. Yeah, I'm just going to say, I hear you, buddy. And awesome. You know what I mean? Thank you. And let's move on.
It
so
is
to
a
his
game.
face. Yeah.
He did make a game.
Exactly.
and like I said, there's a lot of good stuff there that I had fun with.
Yeah.
But
yes.
No, for sure. Dan nailed it. Like, yes, he it's obviously a really his passion. He's made the game forever.
Exactly.
And he's not going to just be like, yeah, this game was trash. No,
exactly.
Don't play it. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, at some point, who knows though? I would have to clear some space out on my Series S, but I could see myself jumping back into Starfield and giving it a couple hours of my time. Maybe even jumping into the DLC and seeing how it is. I mean,
a lot of the I looked at the reviews on Xbox, the reviews on the actual purchase of the DLC, and it was a lot of 1-star people. A lot of saying they couldn't find where you're supposed to go to start it up. And once they did, that they weren't having fun with it. But it was a lot of 1-star reviews on there.
Wait, is it like an Elden Ring sort of thing where you have to go to like a specific location and then you have to
get to a certain part, and then you get some sort of radio message or something that starts you up on it.
Okay. I could see that being
Which,
frustrating.
a lot of people might not even know that. A lot of people might think that as soon as they boot up the game that they get the DLC alert right away. Like there might be some mistakes. We gamers are
Or they could be idiots.
quick to judge. Or they could be idiots. Yeah, exactly.
But and they obviously have an internet connection because they downloaded the game. Therefore, it doesn't take but 2 seconds to look up on your phone how to start it.
Of course.
But anyway, I will definitely play it at some point after I'm done boring myself with Alan Wake, and I will come back with my take on it.
Nice. Do it.
And I want to hear more of your takes if you guys play it as well. Yep. But let's move on to a game we are all looking forward to, and this is GTA 6. Now, before we talk about GTA 6, there was one of the things that made me want to talk about GTA 6, although I want to talk about GTA 6 pretty much all the time, is I was reading an article today that's GTA Online Zombies wave-based mode for the Halloween. So we were just talking about Halloween stuff last week. So I was like, oh, this is really cool. So I wanted to bring it up to you guys and to listeners of the pod because they might be interested in Halloween stuff. And then we can segue into GTA 6. But it says, this is an article from Wesley Yinpool, and it says, GTA Online is getting a zombies mode set in GTA 5 snowy opening location. So 11 years after it was released, GTA 5 starting location, snowy North Yankton, is finally being added to GTA Online as part of an upcoming limited time zombie survival mode that is arriving in the game next week. Limited time zombie survival mode. That is Dan bait. So I'm super pumped for this. If it's been a few years since you played the opening chapter of GTA 5, you might have forgotten that Rockstar's massively popular open world crime sim doesn't start in sunny Los Santos, but instead opens with a bank heist in the snowy streets of rural Londondorf, North Yankton. While you do return to this location once in the main single-player campaign, this Midwestern locale has never been officially appeared in the GTA Online, but that's about to change next week. On September 26th, Rockstar first teased that it was planning to add a new wave-based survival mode set in North Yankton to GTA Online in a future October update. But now we know via their weekly GTA Online event update that Rockstar has confirmed that North Yankton will return next week with Zombies 2. So, what are your thoughts on this one? Is this going to be something you're digging into?
I love that. I love that they're bringing it back to the snowy Yankton location. I think that was totally an untapped cool potential for the game because it was so brief, and I thought it was kind of cool. It gave me like Fargo vibes, and throwing the throwing zombies in there. I think zombies and snow have a cool mix that doesn't get tapped into enough as well. So I think this could be really a big hit, and I could see this returning for a few seasons or however much longer we're getting GTA Online or whatever. So I think it's gonna be cool. And I know Dan, this sounds like Dan all the way. So we'll be in there.
Just imagine if they had pizza. Oh God, it would be crazy.
I know.
It's been so long since I played the game. I haven't jumped into the online in over a year. I think it's not super for me, but I'm interested in what they have. And I did like Yankton. I like to Yankton once a day at least. And so I did have a lot of fun in that area. It's a great opening. That opening sequence is great, especially coming from GTA 4 and playing that game. And then all of a sudden GTA 5 starts and you're like, wow, this is a game. Like, this is great. So I have good memories of that. Yeah, I'll try it out.
Yeah, here's my thing is that there's an achievement if you hit level 100 online, and I'm at 99. So I have to jump in.
You've been at 99 for a long time.
I know, because I'm the same as you. I'm like, this game's old. I'm over it. I'm like, when are they going to make a new one? But wave-based zombies, I got to jump back in. I got to at least test it out. So I just wanted to mention that.
Does it run any better on the Series X?
No, I bought all the damn versions. Okay. It all sucks. It's all shitty, and we all need a new one. And we did about 12 years ago too. So
I cannot believe it still sucks. Like, that's just blowing my mind right now.
I keep buying the newest version, expecting better, and it never gets better. It never does. All right, so screw GTA 5 and screw GTA Online. Let's talk about GTA 6 and the next GTA Online. First off, gentlemen, what features do you want to see in GTA 6? The base game, story mission, that sort of stuff.
I had to look at what I put. Oh, this is what I put down. So I want to see, and you know what? It's been so long since I played since I played 5. So maybe some of these happened and I just don't remember. But I want to see decisions that impact and change the environment. Like I want to see, like, maybe a building gets blown up and that building remains blown up for the rest of the game. I want to see. I definitely want to see how your decisions affect the world that you're in. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe that didn't happen. I can't quite remember because it's been a long time. And then one of the things they did say in that leak that came out is that I want to see if there's a door, I want there to be something behind that door. It drives me up the wall to be in an open world game, which I know it's very difficult to do. But it drives me batty to have a bunch of doors that are just locked. They're just decoration. I want to see a lot of that, and I think that leak said something like 70% of doors are going to be something behind it, which I can't wait for that. And I absolutely love the stock market in GTA 5, and I
Yeah,
would
that
love to
was good.
see some sort of stock market pulled brought back, and maybe expanded on.
Oh,
Those were the things I'd love.
those are good, Malding. Those are really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, mine's kind of in the same vein, Malding. Like, I just really liked like the real world events that I felt like occurred a little more often in like San Andreas and like Vice City, where there might be like gang shootouts kind of out of the blue and like little more like I just want a little more interaction with just the NPCs. Like I want some more kind of chaos. I didn't think we got a ton of, unless I'm misremembering, but I
Yes.
didn't think there was a
Same thing.
lot of chaos going on in GTA 5. And I kind of want to just feel kind of like crazy. Like I don't know. I felt like Los Santos did, or what am I saying? Los Santos, San Andreas, did a really good job with just kind of making the NPCs feel very lifelike. Like they're doing gang related things. They're like tagging up stuff. I just thought that
Yeah.
was like really cool. Little tidbits and details like that I think could go a long way in this game. And from what I can tell, like, and just from the little teasers, it like seems like they're trying to add like a little more flair to just like the basic NPCs as far as I can tell. So I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of that. Um, yeah, anything that really just like makes the world feel alive as well. So like, I think that kind of piggybacks on what Malding's saying. If a building blows up, you get like either the building destroyed for a while, maybe it gets rebuilt into something different. Like the world is just kind of evolving around you. I think that would be a nice touch.
Agreed.
Agreed. I think I've never said this before about a video game, but in terms of my picks, the very first thing I want out of GTA 6 is like the single player mission and stuff is DLC. I want DLC. We never got it. I have Blue Ball DLC from the last game. It just never happened. They kept teasing us. Oh, this voice actor recorded and he said it was going to come. And then all this crap just kept going to the online because all the damn people buying all the damn shark cards. And we had this legendary DLC in the other games and the Liberty City stories and all that sort of great stuff. Ballad of Gay Tony and you name it. Like we had such good DLC. And in this one, I have Blue Ball DLC because we got jack squat. So that one, before I even get the game, I want more content for the main missions. Other than that, I always loved, of course, heists. They're always fun, both in online and in the main game. I love all the DLC or the extra like bowling and tennis and golf, the little side activities and crap. I want to see surfing because we're in Florida. I want to see hunting alligators. I want to be able to alligator wrestle. Uh, Mafia 3, you could feed dead bodies of the bad guys to the alligators. I want to be able to feed people to the alligators. I want to be able to even do it online and feed you guys to the alligators. It would be awesome.
Sure.
So lots of alligator feeding. But the main thing is in the story, I think one of the things that GTA 5 did really well was it was a satire on current events. They used Fame or Shame, which was like the singing American Idol. They
America's
had
Got Talent, or American Idol,
yeah,
or something like that.
exactly. And they did a great job there. They did a great job of the fucking best mission of the game was the one where you put the bomb in the Steve Jobs like guy's phone, and he's at the Apple conference, and then you dial the number and you blow it. That was craziest thing. So I want to see more social satire because of what they were doing in that one. I know it takes a long time to make these games, but it was so smart and so cutting edge. It was really, really exciting to see.
Oh,
That's a great point. All those things made me really, really feel like that game was current, and
yes.
I love those aspects to it too.
Yeah.
And just on the flip side of the nightmares that, like the nightmare scenario for GTA 6, let's just hope it's not a GTA Online only. Like, can we
don't put that in the universe? Do
no,
not.
Yeah, I don't think that's good.
Lord.
So. Okay, I know. It would be.
Do we know what year it's set into? Because that would be another thing I wouldn't want. I want it to be current. I don't want it to be like in the 90s or in the 80s. Do we know if it's current?
It's definitely got to be current, at least from the first trailer, because they've got all the people doing the tricks and stuff on four-wheelers, and then they've got the people recording and they're live streaming, and the likes are going up in the corner. So I think we're gonna be safe there. I don't want to jinx us, but we're gonna be safe there.
Yeah.
But speaking of online, let's segue to that. Now, what do you guys? What are your hopes and dreams for the online?
I want to be able to buy any property. Like if I have the funds, I want to be able to buy any place in the whole thing. Like I know I'm sure there's probably problems that exist, and like when you're if you're in a world where someone who's bought that same property, like I'm sure you can't do it for some reason, but I want to be able to not just have like a set properties that you can buy. I want to be able to buy anything that I want. That was my big one. And then what was the other one? Sorry. I want to be able, and now this again you might be able to do this already. I can't remember, but I want to be able to use my own music playlist when I play the game. I love the music that they have. I think it's great. They do a good job licensing. I love the radio stations, but after 10 years, those stations got pretty stale listening to the same songs and same DJs. I would love to be able to play my own music. Again, you might be able to do that, and I just don't know. I just can't.
You can play Spotify during any game, so maybe that's the only way that they would let you do that.
Way. Anyway, but I'd like to be able to like click a button and be like, "Hey, this is your music from X that you're pulling it from." I think
like a deeper integration with Spotify. That'd be awesome.
That'd be really cool. I'd love that. My takes on this, like, I just want a simple UI. I just have always griped.
Good look. They have so many options.
Yes.
I know, but they have so many options. They're the cell phone in that game. Like, there's 57 options. Then the pause menu, there's like zillion options. I mean. Oh man, from your lips to God's ears, I really hope
World's menu out of the water, and how complicated that GTA menu is.
I've never seen a more complicated menu than GTA Online.
I just like couldn't. I could never figure out where I was trying to like go or what I was trying to do. I was like, do I get it from the cell phone? Do I got to pause? Like, so I'm just hoping it's all in one place. That'd be awesome. The next thing I wouldn't mind, I think this would be really cool, is like a unique in-game phone number where you could, like, if they do bring back the cell phones, you could like dial someone up and like maybe make a call to them or just like something along the lines that like would be unique to the player. I know this could be like, this is like a pipe dream, but it would be kind of cool if you were able to like give your number out to somebody in game. It would kind of feel a little more lifelike. And I don't know exactly how that would look.
That's interesting.
Yeah, kind of a wild one, but I think that would be sweet. And then I definitely think, like, I mean, we're talking about progress carrying over. I'd be really, really surprised if progress doesn't carry over, right? Like,
there's no way.
You mean
there's
from GTA 5 to GTA 6?
No
way.
GTA Online to GTA, the next GTA Online.
They're never. No,
there's
absolutely
no way.
not. You're gonna have to start from scratch.
You're gonna have to buy more shark cards. You will get a free T-shirt for your avatar. God. That is it. That's all you're gonna get. You're gonna free T-shirt
or a car, or a nice car, or something. Like you've spent so much money, you get this car or something.
It's gonna be a fresh.
Or listen to this: you spend $100, you get your character transferred.
No,
Ooh,
it's just not
Yeah.
no
happening.
way.
Yeah, I
They're not
know.
gonna
They,
do
they,
Oh,
they would
that.
make more
No.
money on
oh,
selling you shark cards to get your
Yeah.
characters level. I like your idea. I like what you're thinking. You're thinking outside the
yeah.
box. Not gonna happen.
Okay. Dang, I mean, to me, that's unacceptable. That's like worse than Warzone removing your
Welcome to
skins.
capitalist society.
I know.
Exactly.
That's bullshit, but okay. Well,
All right.
too bad.
My requests are first off, faster loading. This I've spent just as much
Yes.
time in the GD clouds as I have playing the damn game and running around the city because every time I'm trying to join my buddies and do that sort of thing, and the networking is just slow AF. So no more sitting in the clouds. I'm not an effing bird. Let me play the GD game. I love GTA 5 the way that certain games will do leveling up by doing things. So if I'm driving or if I'm running or if I'm shooting, my character should be able to level up by doing that sort of thing. I love when they do that. So I'd love to see them do that in the online. I love the stunt tracks that are in the sky, the super crazy ones that do all the flips and the flying and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, it's a little pay to win because you have to buy the faster car if you actually want to win, which sucks. It shouldn't be pay to win, but it totally is. But I would love to see a return of the crazy races. I am tired of the whole like drug running missions and stuff like that with the nightclubs and the bases. And while it's fun to own those sorts of things, I wish there would be a more legit way to make money in that game. I know that they don't want you to make money in that game because they actually want to sell the shark cards and stuff like that, but I don't know. It just seems like so much work, to be honest with you. And I'm there to have fun. Like I have my regular work. I want to come here and just blow off steam and stuff. So there's that.
Yeah, like $1 million property and you get $200 if you win a race. Like that kind of stuff was disheartening.
Agreed.
What am I going to do with this?
Yeah. And then some people could buy flying cars and just come and shoot you at any time. So it's like, whoa, well, let's roll into those flying cars maybe a few years later because I sure don't want them there at launch. That's for sure. One thing that they're definitely going to have to figure out, though, is the name. So we're all accustomed to GTA 5 being the story mode currently and GTA Online being the online mode. So we know we're getting GTA 6, but what's the name of the online mode that we're going to get to? What do you guys think?
GTA 6 Online. That's what it's gonna be called. What are you talking about? What do you think?
Well, it can't be called GTA Online 2. You know what I mean? Because it can't. That would be too confusing. So I guess
I think they call it either a GTA World, GTA Universe.
Ooh, that's a good call. GTA.
I like the different branding because then it's very distinct from what we're calling GTA Online right now.
Yeah.
So I'd kind of like the different branding.
Yeah.
GTA Online 2. That's what.
No,
it can't be.
Bad.
It can't be. No, I think it's gonna be like a world or universe or like maybe just called like version 2 or something. Like just a different name. You know. What do you think, Dan? What's your take on it?
I agree. I think you're spot on, but we're a little tight on time, so let's jump into the listener.
Plus. That's what it's going to be. GTA.
That's the name of their subscription service that they.
Oh, it
monthly.
Is. Oh, geez.
Yes. Oh, bro. All right. So moving on, let's hop into the listener emails of the week. This one is actually the same one from last week. We're just answering the second part of the question. So Shortide wrote in last week to goodplayingwithyou@gmail.com, just like you can. And he asked what we thought about in-game events, but then his email also went on to say, with Halloween just around the corner, what are some of your favorite scary/Halloween games that you recommend? So like single-player games and stuff like that. Do you have any go-to like fun Halloween themed or just scary themed games that you recommend? Or is there anything that you're looking forward to for the season? What do you guys think?
So I think I'm going to. I've been looking forward to jumping into DBD again. So I think I'm going to play a little bit of DBD once my thumb is in good form. And then every few years, I've never finished this game. I've always started it and never finished it. I want to finish Alien Isolation. I think that is a Halloween game.
Definitely.
I started it already a couple of weeks ago. Got through a couple hours of it. And I want to jump back into it, and I really want to finish it this time because that game is phenomenal.
You should
Such a good
stream it.
take.
I want to hear you scream like a little girl.
Yeah, I will.
Stream it.
And let me back it up too. Many weeks ago I talked about how Skyrim had some great Connect capabilities. Alien Isolation also had great connect capabilities. It looked at you while you were playing the game, and you could move your head to look around corners, and you'd be able to look
fun.
around corners in the game. And also it listened to the sounds in your apartment house, whatever your room. And if there were any loud sounds that it detected, it would draw the alien to you. So a couple more connect capabilities that we have lost.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's scary as AF. Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, mine I feel like is kind of like it's I mean it's kind of a well-known one, but hey, that the Dead Space OG, and this is kind of piggybacking on the sci-fi horror, but I just loved the first Dead Space. I thought that game captured
Phenomenal game.
serious terror.
Yeah.
Something about just being in that suit and that weird laser gun hacking up these crazy monstrosities was just really intense. Like that game, I think it probably gave me some PTSD realistically. And then just as a bonus, Dead Space also has an anime that kind of is a precursor to the whole all the mayhem that goes on in Dead Space 1. It's called Dead Space Downfall, and it's really good watch. It's awesome. I used to have it on DVD, played it all the time.
Is it streaming anywhere?
I should have
Physical
seen,
media.
yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's streaming somewhere. Look it up. Dead Space Downfall. Great watch. Super intense. Really gory. So if you're into that, give it a go.
Nice. For myself, I would say my always go-to, like puts me in the great Halloween mood, is Costume Quest 1 and 2. Have you guys played this? It was a Double Fine, sort of small RPG, kind of cell shaded with the kids. You got to check it out. Yeah. It's on Game Pass. It's very Halloween. You're going around trying to get costumes and candy, and you're fighting like just like an RPG. And I'm not a big RPG dude, but this one definitely was fun because it was small and very Halloween themed. So I highly recommend checking that one out. Then, of course, just today I picked up Predator. Are you boys familiar with this one?
Is
it? It's like the isometric horror game, right? Yes.
Well, yeah. It's two things that are total Dan bait. It is shooting dudes, and then it's also like a survival horror, like 1 versus 4, isometric, or like like a horror game, like elimination.
Yeah.
And so someone's a predator, and like the squad goes in and they have to do all these objectives, and then they want to extract, but the predator tries to stop them. And if you kill the predator, then he can detonate, and you either have to like have, dexterity out the wazoo and like solve his puzzle, and then he won't explode, or you can chicken out like I normally do, and you run for the fences, and if you can make it out of the blast zone, you don't die. Anyway, it's created by Ilphonic that did Friday the 13th, so it's a little bit janky right now, but it's only $20, and it's really, really fun. So it just came out today. It actually was on PlayStation, 2 years ago? It was on PlayStation Plus for free, and that's where I've been playing it. Unfortunately, there's no cross progression, so I just lost all my progress, and I'll be starting over again. But if you guys are interested at all, definitely check it out. I'll be playing this weekend, so feel free to join me. And then one small shout out to the horror game that I'm looking forward to most. Yes, there's going to be Silent Hill 2. So yes, I'll probably play that one. But I'm kind of like, and I think I'm alone here. I'm like the only one who's interested in this. But A Quiet Place 2. Absolutely hated the movies. I couldn't even make it through the last one that's on Peacock right now. But as a game, that mechanic where you're trying to walk quietly through a room and not make noise, and the monsters crawling above you and being all freaky, like that sounds like good times to me. So I'm definitely going to be picking that one up, and I'll let you guys know how it is.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, please do.
Dang. Sounds like some good recommendations right there.
Definitely. And then if you're like a super fan of Until Dawn, I heard that there are a couple new scenes and things that they added to the game. Unfortunately, it is full price, and you don't get a discount if you own the version before, but it does kind of set up a potential sequel. So people are talking about that. I don't think it's worth it because it looks exactly the same as the first one. But if you haven't played Until Dawn, it's definitely a great one as well. I can talk about horror games all day. But we need to, unfortunately, we need to wrap things up. So please make sure you're subscribed to our socials, and on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button too. And on behalf of the Good Playing With You crew, Matt Lord, Matt Molding, myself, Dan Whitehill, have a great weekend. And as always, good playing with you.
Good playing with you.
Good playing with you.